Hello, welcome to another geography class. My name is Sonia Ekeleme. Our theme for today's lesson is Environment and its Resources, and our topic, Climate 1 Part 2. Before we go into our lesson proper, let's take a quick rundown on our lesson objectives. By the end of this class, you should be able to locate the major climatic regions on a map of the world. Explain the influence of altitude, latitude, wind, oceans, currents, etc. on the climate. And lastly, state the importance of climate on physical and human activities. Now let's go into our lesson proper. The climate of a region is not just a one-time thing. It is an accumulation of several weather conditions that have been calculated and collected over a period of about 30 years. Several elements come together, such as temperature, precipitation, and humidity, to determine the climatic condition of a particular region. Several regions in the world have different and unique climatic conditions. When talking about climatic conditions, terms such as tropical, temperate, arid, and polar are used to describe climatic conditions. Different regions of the world have different and unique climates. Let's take a look at different climatic regions of the world. The image on the screen is a map of the Earth, also known as the globe. The image shows the distribution of different continents on the Earth. From the image, we can see that several colors represent several climatic regions of the world. The areas colored green represent regions that have tropical climates. These areas are located on latitude 0 degrees north and south, which is also called the equator. Areas colored lemon are the subtropical climatic regions. These areas are also called arid regions. The areas colored blue have temperate climatic conditions, while the areas located at the north and south poles at the top and bottom of the globe are colored purple, meaning they have polar climates. Areas colored brown are highland areas or mountainous areas. Before the climatic condition of an area can be determined, several factors come to play. These factors interact with one another to determine the climate of a region. Let's take a look at some of them. Latitude or distance from the equator, distance from the sea, relief or shape of the land, which can also be known as the topography, direction of winds, and human activities. The location of a region in relation to the equator determines the kind of climate that region will have. The equator is simply a line that divides the Earth into two. It is a great latitude. Regions that are located far from the equator usually have lower temperatures and cooler climates. This is because they are located at the north and south poles of the Earth. While regions that are located close to the equator or around the equator usually have warmer climates and higher temperatures. We might wonder why this is so. This is due to the tilt of the Earth at 23.5 degrees. The direction of the sun rays reaches the equator very fast. This is because at the equator, the sun rays reaches the Earth faster than at the poles. This is because of the tilt of the Earth at 23.5 degrees. At the north and south poles, the sun rays takes longer time to get to those regions, and because of the thick atmosphere found in north and south poles, sun rays find it very hard or take longer distances to reach those areas, giving them cold climates. Countries close to the equator, such as Somalia, Uganda, usually experience warmer and hot climates, while countries such as Denmark and Greenland usually experience colder or cooler temperatures and climates. Just as you can see from the image, the yellow lines represent the sun rays. The north and the south poles are also shown on the image. From the image, we can see that the north and the south poles have low angles of incoming sunlight because of the tilt of the earth, while the equator receives higher sunlight, leading to their warm and cold climates. Another factor that affects the climate of a region is distance from the sea. Regions that are very far from sea experience less rainfall, high temperatures, low humidity, and less cloud cover. This is because the warm air coming from the ocean loses its moisture before it gets to the continents or areas that are far from the sea. While regions that are close to the sea, or also called coastal regions, experience more cooler climates. This is as a result of certain parameters such as lower temperatures, higher humidity, more rainfall, and thicker cloud cover. This is because warm air from the ocean do not need to travel long distances to form cloud covers that can also lead to precipitation in form of rainfall. This helps to keep coastal regions cooler than regions far from the sea. Relief or shape of the land. Relief has to do with topography of the area, that is, areas in a region that are high and areas that are low. The higher a place is above sea level, the colder it will become, while the lower a place is above sea level, the warmer it will become. This is because as height or altitude increases, air becomes thinner and expanded. This expansion causes it to lose pressure. The loss of pressure reduces the temperature, leading to cooler climates. That is why you see snow covers on mountainous regions. From the image, we can see this mountain is covered with snow because it is very high above sea level. While this image shows a grassland that has no snow cover. This is because grasslands or plain areas are low above sea level. Direction of wind. The direction of prevailing wind blowing into an area determines the kind of climate that area will have. Winds blowing from hot areas like deserts that have high temperature will definitely increase the temperatures of regions it is blowing into, while winds blowing from the ocean and cold areas will also lead to cooler climates of the regions the winds are blowing towards. Winds also have a way to affect the amount of precipitation received by an area. If winds blowing into an area carry so much moisture, it will lead to a high level of precipitation in that area. But if they carry less moisture, it will lead to dryness of those areas. The activities of humans also affect climate in a region. The activities of humans, such as deforestation, burning of fossil fuel, industrial pollution, and even overpopulation, can cause a huge change in climate over time. The accumulation of these changes in the climate over time has led to an increase in the frequency of certain extreme weather conditions. For example, the frequency of hurricanes, flooding, severe storms, and also the rates at which the climate is causing global warming. This image shows gas flaring, which is the burning of fossil fuel. Gas flaring leads to an increase in the concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. Example is carbon dioxide. This image shows a tornado, while these images show the effect of human activities on the climate, leading to extreme weather conditions. The climate is important to man and his environment in so many ways. Let's take a look at a few of them. Climate affects the distribution of plants and animals across various ecosystems of the world. The climatic condition of an area can determine the type of plant and animal that can be found in that location. For example, polar bears are found in the north and south poles. This is because those areas are very cold and favorable to their existence, while elephants and antelopes are found in the more tropical regions of the world. Secondly, countries such as Switzerland and Denmark are into hosting games such as snowboarding, ice skating, and even the Winter Olympics because of their cold climatic region. This has helped in boosting their economy through tourism. Thirdly, human population is usually found in regions with more hospitable climates. For example, regions that have temperate and tropical climates. The climate can also affect the living condition of man in his environment. For example, the type of clothes, food, and even the type of houses are affected by the climate of a particular region. For example, in our country, Nigeria, we wear light clothes because the climatic condition is warm and is tropical. While this image showing on the screen shows people wearing thick clothing because the area is very cold or has polar climates. Also, a warmer climate with high temperature will increase the risk of certain diseases and even lead to death. For example, air pollution can cause lung cancer and asthma. Mosquitoes can cause malaria, and high temperatures can lead to heat strokes. These conditions can affect man in his environment due to the climatic condition of his environment. Lastly, climate change has led to an increase in the frequency of extreme events. For example, events or weather events such as hurricanes, floods, and wildfires are on the rise. For example, extreme weather events such as hurricanes, floods, and wildfires are on the rise. We've come to the end of this class, but before we go, let's take a quick summary on what we learned during the lesson. We learned that different parts of the earth have distinct climatic conditions. We also saw some factors affecting climate, and they include latitude or distance from the equator, distance from the sea, relief or shape of the land, direction of winds, human activities, etc. And lastly, we learned that climate affects the distribution of plants and animals across different biomes. It has led to extreme events like flooding and hurricanes, and it also affects man and the environment in many other ways. Now let's test our knowledge on the understanding of the lesson. Question 1. What kind of climate will a coastal region have? A. Cool temperatures, high humidity, and more rainfall. B. Cool temperatures, low humidity, average rainfall. C. Warm temperatures, high rainfall, high humidity. Or D. Moderate temperatures, less rainfall, low humidity. The correct answer is A. Cool temperatures, high humidity, and more rainfall. Question 2. Regions close to the equator are dash than regions close to the poles. A. Cooler. B. Warmer. C. More wet. Or D. Foggy. The correct answer is B. Warmer. I hope you can now locate the major climatic regions on a map of the world and also state the importance of climate on physical and human activities. See you in our next class. Bye.